Welcome back to Connected Farmer, your channel to keep you up to date with the latest trends in agriculture and livestock. Right now, we have our guest that is Jack Scoville. He is a market analyst at the Price Futures Group in Chicago, Illinois. How are you, Jack?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm doing excellent. I would like to learn your perspective, Jack, about an upside for soybeans. Do you think that is possible in the midterm?
Well, right now, of course, we're having a higher day because of the weather. And it could be that if the weather does get cold enough over the next couple of days, that we could see the market shoot up to about 870 to 880. I really don't think we'll go much higher than that, but there is that chance. If the weather does warm up in through here, we're not quite as cold as forecast, then maybe we're seeing our highs here today. But for right now, I think that we're making a little bit of a low in through here. The trends are trending up, and an 870 to 880 market is certainly not out of the question.
Yes. And for corn, I guess your view is that the perspective is really different because of the energy markets. How do you analyze that?
Well, the corn market does have the energy market to contend with, and we're going to have large supplies. There's no doubt about it. But the weather is affecting this market as well. Even so, July corn can make a run towards the 330, 335 area in that neighborhood here in the short term, just based off of the weather. The corn to go much higher than that is going to require something much more significant, like increased ethanol demand or something like that. And increased ethanol demand is going to come. The United States is starting to open up again, and that means more driving will be coming to the United States, but it's going to take quite some time for that to develop.
Yeah, and are you seeing any impact from the South American crop on the corn prices?
Well, we're expecting a very big South American crop. It looks like it's going to be the safrinha crop in Brazil is going to be smaller than it was. But even so, the overall production is going to be very large. Not all of that is going to come to export, of course. The Brazilian feed industry needs to keep quite a bit of that back. So initially, we're not going to see a whole lot of pressure from the Brazilian corn exporter. But later on this summer, I expect Brazilian corn exports to really ramp up, especially if the real stays as weak as it is. And I expect to see quite a bit of pressure from South America, yes.
And also there is the stockpile in the U.S.
Oh, absolutely. We've got plenty of corn here. In fact, our supplies have been increasing because of the loss of the ethanol demand and lost feed demand as well, with the processors closing down. So the processors are starting to reopen. The ethanol plants are not starting to reopen yet. That will take quite some time. But we're going to get our demand base back. But, we're losing 3 to 6 months of demand in the meantime.
Yeah, and what's your view for wheat?
The wheat market has been a better market, actually. The trends have tried to turn back up in that market here in Chicago, not really getting the job done. And the reason has been less what's going on here in the U.S. and more about what's going on overseas. There's improving crop conditions in Europe and in Russia. And as those conditions improve, it's going to pressure the world prices. And we need to export our wheat. So that's going to keep our prices under pressure. And it really doesn't matter how much wheat we lose because of cold temperatures this weekend.
How much of it had to do with Russia?
Wheat has a lot to do with Russia. Russia is the world's low price exporter. and really sets the tone for the wheat market these days. So as Russia goes, so goes the wheat market. Russia was running out of wheat here a few weeks ago, but now with the better rains in Russian wheat growing areas here over the next week or two, ideas are that they'll have plenty of wheat to sell this later on this year, and that's putting pressure on prices.
Jack, is there anything else would you like to add for our viewers?
No, I think that's fine. Just remember that your upside is limited in through here. Don't be afraid to sell a good rally in through here, because I think it'll be important to get some good prices, and these might be some of the best prices we see for the coming year.
Jack Scoville from Chicago, Illinois. Thank you.